Yo, what's going on, everyone? Miles Midoriya here with a review of All American Homecoming Season 2, Episode 1. In the beginning of the episode, we see Damon and Simone practicing. Damon is thinking about his situation. Simone is thinking about what happened over a break when she was in LA. After the practice match, Simone was happy. She thought she did good, but the coach didn't think so. She told her some stuff that she needs to work on and she wants to get better. So she's going to have a rough time for a minute before things get better in this season. Damon's walking onto the baseball field at Hawkins and he runs into the assistant coach. He did mention that Coach Shaw said that nobody would be there. They talked briefly. I think he's just visiting there, getting the feel of the field and just see how it would go. But that assistant coach being there, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Everyone is at Amar's office congratulating her on being the president of the college. She asked about the LA trip and yeah, it was mentioned about what happened from Nate. Simone tried to play it off saying it was none of her business if Jordan is talking to Layla or anyone else, and to prove it, she invites Jordan and Spencer to family brunch since they're in town for the bowl game. In the next scene, we got JR visiting Damon saying that it's good to be back on neutral ground, and Damon said what, spending the holidays juggling your divorcing parents wasn't all joy and Christmas cheer? JR replied with, you mean our divorcing parents? Exactly, let him know. That's his parents too. I know he don't know them that well, but that still count for you too. JR gave Damon a present. Damon was like, you didn't have to get me anything. And JR was like, do you see these corners? I didn't wrap this. So the gift was from his birth mom, which we'll find out what that is later. JR asked him how was Christmas with Thea and did he tell her he was considering transferring. He said, nah, she's dealing with it a lot. We all know how these scenarios go. You gotta tell them because they're gonna find out one way or another. Moving to the next scene, Damon goes to visit Thea in the workout room and she's going off on the trainer. I get she wants to get better and back to tennis, but relax a little. You don't want to make the injury worse. Damon ended up diffusing the situation. The trainer said he'll see her Thursday. He tried to say something to her about it, but she shut that down quick. He told her they're going to the family brunch. She didn't want to go, but he convinced her. He may have wanted to skip this one though. They're at Amar's place. JR came through the door and said, look who he found. It was that man Spencer. Not gonna front, I like how they used this character throughout the episode. He greeted everyone and Simone asked was Jordan coming and he said he's stuck at a QB meeting. She did look a little relieved though and he kind of thought that was suspicious. Damon and Thea arrived at the brunch. It got a little awkward. This dude Spencer was like, what's going on? What I missed? Nate explained it a little bit. Spencer was like, was it because of Damon? Simone was like, no, because of tennis. Keisha was like, yeah, a little bit because of Damon. Spencer over here saying that he's glad he's not the center of the drama for once. Yeah, I know you enjoying it. It's not your show. You get to relax and sit back and watch the show. I know he got to be thinking, man, so this is what it's like not to be in the drama. Right before they sit down and eat, Amar sees what's on TV. It's a video of Damon earlier in the episode when he was throwing some pitches at Hawkins. Someone was there recording them. I'm wondering if it was a random reporter or maybe that assistant coach Keyshawn. It's not like Shaw couldn't have had that plan. When he saw the assistant coach on the field, he said that Shaw said no one's usually there. But everyone at Amar's place saw it, including Thea, the main person he didn't say anything to. JR did tell him he should have told her. Damon asked Amar if Coach Marcus is returning anytime soon. She said she hasn't heard anything yet and to take his time making his decision. Then we actually see Coach Marcus. He checked himself into some place. He's talking to some lady. He said he checked himself in. Is it up to him to check himself out? She said the better question is, why don't you want to check yourself out? He was talking about the artwork in the mirror and seeing his reflection. He said he wondered how everyone will see him now distorted and different. And she said, what if it's not? Spencer's with Simone and he says, did you want to talk about anything like her being relieved Jordan's not showing up, Damon leaving, and her coaches? She says she'll talk about Jordan and Damon if he talks about the post breakup with Olivia. Once again, that man thinking this is not my show, not today, so he said let's talk about tennis. They started talking. She said the only reason she made top 6 is because Thea's injured, so you know Spencer had to come through with the good advice. She had asked him what did he do. He said he humbled himself, he watched a lot of his game tape and really locked in on his weaknesses and turned them into strengths. Back at Amar's place, Cam is talking to Keisha to make sure that they good. She wanted to go to some food place for New Year's Eve and hang out, but he said he didn't want to do that. He started naming people that was single and didn't have no dates and that they should hang out with their friends, and Keisha was a little upset. When he left, she said she gonna throw a party and invite more people. The scene jumps to Amar's office. Jesse over here coming through the door upset, asking if she knew that Damon was leaving. Her reply was he hasn't made a decision yet and she had no idea. She told him to let him have some room to breathe. Jesse told her that if he leaves, it's going to affect the baseball program. Both were writing away on his next part. Amar said that he needs to be less worried about losing his star pitcher and more worried about losing his son. And Jesse said she needs to stop thinking like everyone's fun aunt and act like a president of the college. He said a trash baseball program is a loss of recruiting power, loss of sponsorship and revenue for the institution, and you can't give Damon a few weeks to decide. He needs to decide now. I get it. She needs to think about all the factors that come into play when it comes to being the president of the college. And he also has to think about repairing the relationship with his son because that would be one of the things that helps him stay. Baseball is what he's putting first and what he consistently keeps saying throughout this episode. What about your family? Damon called up to Thea. She was still upset that she had to learn about it from the news and not from him. He wanted to tell her, but she had a lot going on with her shoulder. Just then, he got a text from Amara for him to meet her in her office. She told him he got 48 hours to decide if he's staying or he's leaving. Jesse goes to talk to JR, trying to get him to talk to Damon to stay and how it will affect the baseball program. Once again, he keeps talking about the baseball program first. JR told him he's not getting in it. He got nothing to do with it. That's when Jesse said it's not about family drama, it's about baseball. JR told him that's his problem. With him and Damon, it's about family and baseball. It took him a long time to find his brother, so he's not letting anything mess that up, not even his dad. If he don't get it by now, once again, I get it, the investors and everything, but the reason he's not staying is because of you. Try to work it out or find some common ground. Spencer's helping Simone out recording her match. Remember what he said earlier about him looking at his film and working on his weaknesses and turning them into strengths? She asked him, is he good? He said he got everything all right. She said, just relax, it's a practice match. He told her, act like it's not, which is good advice. Take it serious like the match is counting. Back to Coach Marcus, the lady is telling him that Amara called. He's not looking at TV or listening to music. He said, isn't that proof he's not ready? She said, no, it's proof that you're scared to try. Yo, that was some real stuff right there. So she told him any ignorance he encounters can be a teachable moment, that the world is a better place with him in it, but he has to really be in it for it to be true. I'm glad they had this character go get help and not just struggle alone and not do anything at all, so it's nice to see the process of what he's going through. Marcus told her that he always tells his players that fear is never the problem. We all fear. It's what we do with that fear that matters. She told him it's time for him to listen to himself. Damon went to go see the coach. He wasn't there, but guess who he saw in the same area? It was Jordan. That man Damon gave a look like, I'm not dealing with this today. But Jordan spotted him and asked him, has he seen Spencer? He said, nah, he hasn't. That's when Jordan brought up Simone. He asked him, was it all a joke to him? When he was with Simone, he didn't say anything out of respect for their so-called friendship. Damon told him he's not with her, and Jordan replied, because she's not attracted to you unless she's unavailable. Damon said, stop talking about her like she's some piece of property. Well, here it goes. Damon just basically said he's done. Jordan stopped him from walking away, and he says he has 3 seconds to get out his face. Man, this is a new show. He don't know nothing about Jordan and fights. He is not scared. He will take and throw punches. Nate and Keisha visit Spencer and Simone on the tennis court. Keisha's inviting Spencer to the party, which is probably to make Cam jealous like how she used Spencer last time. Here it goes. Spencer and Simone walk into the workout room, and what do they see? Damon punching Jordan and Jordan punching Damon. It gets broken up. Spencer said what we was all thinking when we seen the preview. It sounded like he said, are you out your mind? You just got your hand back. Yeah, Jordan, stop punching. This is not your show. Spencer over here chilling. He helping everyone. No drama at all. Jordan said he don't care what show he on. He throwing them hands. Simone ends up talking to Damon. Damon said he guessed it was a long time coming. 2 guys fighting for the same girl was inevitable. And she said not when everyone's moved on, and asked him what really happened in there. He said her aunt gave him 48 hours to decide. The pressure, the fear of making the wrong decision, that Jordan was running his mouth at the wrong place in the wrong time. So she told him that she can relate because she almost transferred as well. Jordan and Spencer started talking after the fight. Jordan was talking about how he was irritated, and Spencer laughed, and Jordan was like, it's not funny. But Spencer was like, what's funny is him fighting some dude who isn't dating the girl he isn't even dating anymore. The person he has unfinished business with is Simone, and they need real closure. While they're talking, guess who they see on the bike delivering food? It's Cam. He told them, don't tell anyone he's delivering food, and Spencer said, you mean don't tell Keisha? He told him and Jordan have the same problem, communication. They're letting pride and ego stop them from talking to the women they say mean a lot to them and that they'll learn the hard way. Coach Marcus is still in the office. He hasn't watched TV yet, so he turns it on and he finds the sports channel. And what does he see? Damon possibly changing colleges. That looks like it'll make him check out of that place and go back to Brinkston. At Keisha's house, Cam stops by. He decided to take Spencer's advice and he tells her what's going on. He told her that he lost his football scholarship and that's why he was distant in LA. Cam had to tell his parents, and that anxiety of having to deal with that back home brought back all his old insecurities. She said, what do you mean you lost your football scholarship? When and why? He lost it the night of the step show. Was either make curfew or perform with her, and he chose her, so he's been working a lot of jobs to save money. She wondered why he didn't tell her, and he didn't want her to feel responsible. That's why he didn't have her meet his parents. He didn't want his parents to blame her. She got upset and told him she didn't want him to miss his shift. I get that she's mad. It's just he didn't know how to deal with it. Like he said, he reverted back to his old self. He is trying to change, and the fact that he even went there and tried to tell her what happened shows that he's growing and changing. Moving along to the tennis court, Thea and Simone are there. She was trying to tell her to check on Damon. They had some bicker back and forth, which leads to a tennis match between the two. I said this isn't going to end well. It was a pretty good match. Thea was keeping up with her injured shoulder, and Simone was struggling a little bit. Thea did end up re-injuring her shoulder from playing that match though. The coach came out and she was mad at Thea for playing that match knowing that she's injured, and Simone for barely keeping up against someone that's injured. The coach did tell her that when Thea's healed, she's getting her spot back, she's not ready, and that match just proved it. At this time, I don't think Simone got around to looking over the video from her practice match to get better. She just jumped into a match against Thea. She should have ignored it. Even though she was annoying her, she should have just let it go. Damon's in his dorm room opening up the Christmas gift he got from his birth mother. It's a photo album of pictures of him and JR from when they were younger. Damon looks like he's about to call Amara. Maybe he's going to stay. But Jesse came through the door. He came through the door saying, is he really that selfish that he can't see what leaving would do to his brother and the team? Damon replied, selfish? This is coming from the man who chose himself over a defenseless child. And Damon said he's not trying to punish him. He doesn't care about him. Once again, he came through the door talking about baseball only and not repairing the relationship with his son. He probably was almost going to stay, but he came through the door. JR runs into Thea, and in this scene, he offered her some good advice. He said, don't let your ego cost you everything you love in life. Seeing that your recovery is going backwards, he guessed it cost her tennis, and Damon too if she keeps shutting him out. At the party, Keisha's upset talking about how Cam didn't tell her. Nate said, have you ever considered this from Cam's point of view, how it must be to lose football, his first love, then having to tell his parents that he lost his scholarship, and trying to figure out how to pay for his tuition, all while his rival shows up in town, flirts with his girl, and plays a bowl game he couldn't play in. Spencer walks in right on time. Keisha says she owes him an apology. He already caught on that she was using him to make Cam jealous. He tells her she's not going to fix it in the kitchen with him, and he takes her to where Cam is, which she doesn't know that yet. We finally see the meeting between Jordan and Simone. She tells him that Thea re-injured herself and that the only reason she'll be in top 6 is because of that. He told her it's not her fault Thea injured herself, anymore his fault Wade got kicked off the team. She said it's not the same. He said it is, saying that they can't feel guilty for the circumstances that gave them their dream shot, that they have to honor the opportunity by being the best that they can be. The them that fought their way from being walk-ons to starting players in the past months, and they can't let anyone or anything get in their way. If her coach thinks she's a placeholder, prove her wrong. He also added, Thea may come back for a spot, cool, but make sure there's no number 1 spot for her to come back to because she truly has become the best player on the team. She says she needs to find a Simone that got her this far already and for Jordan to do the same. She said her New Year's wish is for him to be happy, and he said the same thing for her. It was nice to see these two on screen, no drama, just them talking it out. All-American and All-American Homecoming new season first episodes will really be delivering with some good advice and stuff. Spencer took Keisha to where Cam was. He set up a dinner for them. They both talked and they made up. Thea apologized to Damon. She said she will support him no matter what the decision is, and he told her he made a decision. We then see Amara get a text with him saying that he's leaving. It's New Year's and everyone is kissing and stuff. Even Simone kissed a random guy. He was going to say his name, but that's when he got kissed. I don't know who this is, but we'll probably see more of this character throughout the season. The last scene is at Amara's place. Marcus shows up. He said he couldn't stay away while stuff was happening. He said he's back and how can he help. Glad to see Marcus back. I don't know how things are going to work out, but he always does a good job with the players, so I can't wait to see what he does the rest of this season. Overall, good first episode of the new season. I like how they use the different characters throughout this episode, and I can't wait to see what else gets introduced in the future. Here's some more All-American content. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.